What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am about to give the 2024 updated in the bag. Let's check it out. Alright, what's going on, everybody? As I said, we're doing the update for the 2024 in the bag. From my first in the bag to this in the bag, you will see a couple of the same stuff, but there are quite a few changes, I believe. I actually haven't gone back to look at the old one, but here's my updated. This probably will be my bag for the rest of the season. It feels really good right now. Everything in here feels really nice in the hands. You will notice there's a lot of more understable stuff because some of that stuff actually flies more straight than understable for me and everything else. Obviously, I'm an amateur player, so this is my amateur 2024 in the bag update, to be exact. So, to start out, I rock the Paratrooper bag. I love this Paratrooper bag, to be honest. I'm a huge fan of pirate stuff. So, obviously, this is right up my alley. And it holds a lot, and its putter pocket up here is huge because I do carry a lot of putters. I will say that. I have all my stuff that I normally keep inside the bag. We'll get to that last out already, so I'm not digging around the whole time looking for everything. But we will start a little bit with the putters itself. For my putting putters, I rock with the Pixels. I got a pair of these. Actually, I got one before that. Felt it. Started putting with it. I love the grip of it, the feel of it, the just comfortability of this disc in my hand, putting and everything. It's been on point lately. I run league nights here. Last night, just smoked it with putting. And we were playing tough shot. So basically, once the disc gets into the basket, the hole's done no matter what, but you play worst shot till then. And I was smoking circle 2 putts and everything with these. They just feel so nice in the hands. To me, they have the edge of a P2, but they have a pop top of an ABR. So I'm loving these right now. These are my putting putters. Also, if you see any of these stamps, my hat, go check out Gravity Disc Golf. Use code KG10 at checkout and you can get 10% off your orders. They will take 10% off everything, and it's super nice to use. And these stamps, you'll see a couple of them are sick. I love them. So those are my putting putters. I actually have one of those as well, but this awesome stamp. This is more my throwing Pixel, and super far jump putts that have trees in the way, so I don't bang those Pixels up on trees and everything else. So I use this for my throwing and my far trees in the way, rough spot putting. For the throwing wise, these things are beautiful. They just go straight with a little fade and just drop. Not too much, but they just glide, and that's what I love. They're very floaty, and I can make everything with these just land flat and straight. So this is why this is in there, especially for those long bids from far away. Then I have 3 zones. I have my OS for my utility zone when I really need something to flex back out. I'm in a tough situation. I need that nice flex. This is guaranteed to flex back out. As always, it has the Brody stamp on the bottom. This is my ESP zone. This thing, actually, if I put too much on it now, it does rip over a little bit more. But this thing has been money for me. As you can see, there is some signatures on it because I did ace with this disc in Mississippi. Feels really nice. Still has a nice backhand fade. Pretty hard. And then I got the Get Freaky zone. This one's more straight flying for me and with a little fade, but doesn't go as far as my next disc, which has a nice fade at the end, like slow fade. But this thing bombs. Let me tell you, if you have not thrown one of these Rebirth Envies, the Eagle McMahon disc, I don't know what it is about this disc. It's easily my furthest throwing putter in my bag, and I don't even have to try. Again, like I said, I know Envies are really good, but there's something about this one specifically. I could just bomb it and it goes forever, and it always goes where I want it to. And there's holes that I'm throw this out and I say, all right, I need this disc. It'll be perfect for the shot. Let me just ease off a little bit, and it still overthrows the basket without even trying. Like I said, this thing is money. I absolutely love this disc, especially for driving and big shots left. This, yeah, easily has become one of my favorite discs in my bag. So if you haven't done it, haven't tried it, go try it because it is awesome. Next, I have my final putter. It is the Proxy. Here's the Secret Lab second. Proxy, glow plastic. I love this thing. It's very point and shoot. I could put it a little bit at Annie, and it would just slowly fade nicely. I could throw on a little hyzer, and it'll just keep a nice glidey hyzer shot and finish just a little bit left. Or I could just throw it flat, dead straight at the basket, and it will go dead straight at the basket. I rely on this quite a bit as well. Definitely one of the discs I do reach for quite a bit when I have that awkward range left and I need to just throw it at the basket because I know it will get there nice and land nice and softly and won't flare skip on you or anything else. So that's the Proxy. On to my mid-ranges. I carry 4 mid-ranges. So we'll start with my overstable. I have a Metal Flake Gator. This is for my forehands, mainly because I used to throw the Justice all the time. Threw one of these in the bag. As you can see, it's another gravity stamp. I'm loving it. I could just rip it and it just goes straight for me and reliably fades. And I have a lot of shots on my local course and other courses that, you know, you need that forehand sometimes, and it's too much for me to throw a zone, and it's too small for something a little quicker. So Gator is what I reach for that. Next, I have the Champion Rocks X3. Surprisingly, it doesn't fade as much. It does fade, but not what I expected. But this thing is money, and you could torque on it, and I can actually flip it a little bit and then get that fade on it. Love it. It definitely gets its use on certain shots that I'm looking for that little fade and just burn a little bit at the end. Next, I have my Hex. This thing is money, but when it's windy, I reach for the Rock 3. Again, for some reason, even though I can get this flip a little bit, but it still handles wind just fine. So the Rock X3 is what I use for windy shots. The Hex, if it's a clean day, I need a straight shot with a little fade at the end. This thing is money, but it does fade at the end for me anyways. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just this run of it. It's a little more stable than some of the Hexes. Like my buddy's Hex is pretty new and he flips his. Mine likes to just kind of go straight and then fade at the end. So here's the Hex. And then for a dead straight shot, a little hyzer flip, but it will finish dead straight, and I need a little bit longer than the Proxy. I reach for the Fuse. This thing, again, if I need just that tunnel line, Fuse is definitely that disc. Next, I will go towards my fairways. My fairways is easily the biggest grouping in my bag. Being an amateur player, I can't throw a lot of big shots with distance drivers. So I only have a few in here, and I'll get to them when I do. First, we'll start for my overstable options. First up, I have the Raptor. I love this disc. It is money for me. If I need something in that 200 something range, and windy or not windy, whatever, Raptor's definitely something I need to reach for and give it a good flick. This is the next two discs that I'm showing are mainly my forehand disc. Raptor though, love it, and the reason I have this one in here as well is because I do use this Raptor for my thumber shots. I do love the thumber when it's needed, and Raptor is what I reach for every single time. For something I need to get a little bit more flex out of and further throwing, because it's easily my furthest throwing forehand shot, I reach for the Nate Sexton Firebird. So just like the Raptor, obviously I use this a lot for my forehands, but it goes much further for me. Why? Not sure, but it does, and I can get this thing to flex a lot more than the Raptor. So this is money for me in many situations, and I need a pretty big forehand drive. I definitely reach for the Nate Sexton Firebird because I know I can get it to flex, and then it's going to fade out every time. But surprisingly, this thing doesn't fade as much, so I guess that's probably why I go for it, even though it's, 9404 and Raptors are 03s. I feel this fades less than that Raptor does. And this one, honestly, on backhand, it goes straight for a little while and then gets that little fade at the end too. I can keep this a lot straighter for further. So it's just a further Raptor for me. So I reach for this. Next, I have the Heat with the Yuli stamp on it. Love Yuli. My Yuli heads upstairs. I had the Yuli Raptor. I have the Yuli Heat here. This is for those big hyzer flips or attempts at rollers. So this is definitely that disc. I've been trying to roll and everything else. I'm trying to get better at rolling. For some reason, I can get it to flip up, but I can never get it to land just enough to flip up and roll for a while. I hit just missing it and it cuts rolls. But when I need to attempt a roller, or when I'm practicing roller, or even just a huge ante shot, the Heat is what I go for. Next, I have the Innova Valkyrie. This thing has been money for me. It's a little bit more finish. It fades a little bit, finishes a little bit left. I don't know if it's this run of Innova Valkyries that I have in here, but it's a very nice disc. Really enjoy it. Definitely gets a lot of use. When I need that dead straight shot, I reach for passion. I think everybody should have a passion in their bag. This thing is, like I said, you need a big shot. The passion's it. At least that's straight. Obviously, it goes further than the mid-rangers. This is what I'm reaching for. Something that doesn't fly as far as those is the Rhythm. Here is another awesome stamp. As you can see, beautiful colors. This is what I love about MVP, Axiom Disc, is the colors and everything else. Rhythm, same thing. Throw it straight. But for some reason, this Rhythm does like to finish harder left. So it doesn't get as much use, but I will reach for it in certain situations. And my last two discs are the FDs. I have the C-Line FD here, and then of course I have the Jackal stamped FD here. One is just a little bit flippier than the other because it's been beaten in a little bit more, but FDs, always money. There's not a whole lot I need to say about them. Now I will get to my drivers, my distance drivers. So being an amateur, you would think, why do you have a 13-speed disc in your hands? Why are you throwing a 13-speed disc? Because it bombs, and I can get it to flip and finish, so it has that huge S line for me, and nice skip at the end. But let me tell you, the Latitude Strive is amazing, and the other reason I love this disc, and probably why I can actually get to throw this disc a lot better than I can any other disc, and I recommend it for anybody that's in that in-between stage that you want to jump up and try something a little faster speed. Try the Stride. One thing, I think Royal plastic, for some reason, is my favorite plastic out of all plastics. It feels the best in my hand, and I can get these discs to always fly the best for me. So for some reason, I'm actually surprised I just don't bag a lot more Royal stuff in here, because I honestly haven't tried a whole lot, but I really need to, because I think I would love just a collection of Royal stuff. But the Strides, it's not as big here. It's not weird. It fits like a fairway driver in your hand. It's so weird, but it flies like a 13 speed, as in like distance, but it feels like a fairway driver. Don't know what it is. Like it's a little smaller, and you can feel it because like example, your Destroyers and stuff are a little bit wider here at the rims, but these rims are just thinner, and it has a nice pop top to it and everything else. Again, just throw it dead straight, a little hyzer, or even give it flat, and it would just flip for me, glide, and keep going, and finish left. Love this disc. I just started throwing it, honestly, a few days ago, and it's amazing, and it's definitely going to become a staple in my bag. If I need something to hyzer flip big, I reach for my Hades. If I need a hyzer flip shot, again, Hades is another disc. For some reason, rim doesn't feel as beefy as a Destroyer or a Zeus or anything else, so it fits really comfortable, and I can get this sucker to flip up and just travel, flip, turn, and fade at the end. So when I need that flip up hyzer shot, 100% reaching for the Hades. And my favorite disc of all time, I lost my original one months ago, probably the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, months later, on the course, somebody was throwing it, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, hey, does that have a number on it? He's like, no. He's like, oh, wait, it does. Like, I lost it a while ago. He thought I was joking, but I was serious. And he was using it. I was watching him throw it constantly. So he's in love with the disc as well. He uses it all the time. Came up to me. It's like, oh, no, I didn't realize that I had my number on it, but it is what it is. I think he was a newer player than I understand. I don't know. Some people are that way, but he did come up to me and say, oh, here, if you want it back, it's yours. And I asked him, do you throw this all the time? He's like, oh, yeah, I love this disc. It's like easily my go-to disc. It's become that. I'm like, go ahead and keep it. So for months, I did not have one of these in my bag, but here I am with two of them, the Grace. I absolutely love this thing. It is easily, next to the Rebirth now, my favorite disc to throw. Love these things. This one, the red one, fades just a little bit more than this one. Not a lot, just it gets just enough fade and finishes to the left. And of course, this one I can get to flip just enough that it just goes dead straight for me, dead straight, and finishes left. But again, the Grace, these 11 speeds are the most comfortable things. I know I said that quite a bit on a couple of the other ones, but Graces are easily my money disc. If I need a shot, I don't know what to throw, I just reach for a Grace. Always reach for a Grace. Again, it's this Royal line. Something about it I just love. It's soft enough, but not terribly where it just blows up. It's not gonna beat in too bad, too early, but easily. If you don't throw a Grace or you haven't thrown a Grace, please go throw a Grace. Those are the last drivers in my bag. We'll get into a little bit more here. Again, use the Paratrooper bag. Up here I have all my little knickknacks. I have two things from tournaments here. This arrowhead that says Rock River. The Walnut Open, that's our local tournament. It's been going on since 2021, but beautiful engravings. Thanks Maverick Scott for making these. These are amazing. I have my renewal tags up here. That's kind of where I keep those at. And then down here is my gaming controller, a little Super Nintendo gaming controller, and my Rocky Mountain ATV MC keychains down here. Kind of collection of all things I love. I love gaming. I love disc golf. I love motocross / supercross. I have my two gravity stamps minis. These I just keep in my front pockets here. Then I have two little pencils, of course, because we always need these. I have my Sharpie in case I need to sign a disc or I forget to mark my disc or I ace. Gotta have everybody sign it that it witnesses. That's what I like to do. If I get people to witness my ace, I will have them all sign my disc. I have a mini Sharpie just in case, you can't write with this. Nobody has a pen or something. I have the mini one. I have my Atlas rangefinder. I have this. I usually don't struggle with sweaty hands and stuff, but there's some days that the disc is really, gross from humidity. I have my birdie bag with the gravity stamp on there. Chalk bag. Again, it definitely gets its uses, especially out here. It's humid, super humid here in Illinois when the summer comes and you get into those dry spells where you get no rain, like now. Then I have a flight towel to warm up a little bit with, practice my form. I've changed up my form quite a bit the last month to try to work on timing more. So I have a flight towel in here. I have a Rocky Mountain towel, my Rock River towel, my Innova towel, another towel, and a little towel. So multiple towels in my bag for the simple fact that you never know when you're going to need them. You never know when you use it, you drop it to the ground, and you lose it. So I like to keep multiple towels in my bag just in case for things, especially on wet days and everything else, humid days, anything else. But thank you all for joining me in my updated 2024 in the bag video. We'll see how I do tomorrow. I have a flex tournament tomorrow at Roscoe, Illinois, at Porter Park, I believe it's called. I've actually never played there, but I'm going to try to get a vlog out for that as well. Film a couple shots when I can. Playing with 3 buddies, actually, at 10 o'clock is our tee-off time. We'll see how I do. And I will update everybody probably on our podcast on Wednesdays. Check out Weekend Warriors Disc Golf Podcast on Instagram, on YouTube. That is mine and my buddies' podcast, all about us Weekend Warriors that work 9 to 5 jobs or later, can't do a whole lot, and only can play disc golf on the weekends when we can because of family and everything else. So, thank you all for joining me, and we'll catch you on the flip side.